Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Just thought I'd stop in for a minute and catch up with you since we have reached Friday. It's the end of the week, lots of stuff happening in the news, and a lot of people are talking about a lot of the things that we already know that are kind of on the focus of people today in the news regarding health and wellness, liberties, and all that. But here in my area where I am, there's apparently supposed to be major storms coming through this evening, and according to the weather radar, there's going to be something pretty massive that comes through, and when it hits my location, it's supposed to be in the red. It's starting off in the pink on the west part of the state, and by the time it reaches my location, it's going to be in the red, which means, lots of thunder and lightning and really harsh rains and possibly straight line winds. So, this is one of those times that I like to be prepared for in case something does happen. I have my power supply set up. So, what I'm doing right now is one of my power chargers is a couple of bars down, so I just have it plugged into the wall so that can be back up to the full capacity. And the other one is still in my lunch bag, my other lunch bag, and it is charged up 100%. And yeah, they're small, but they're mighty. I like to call them small but mighty, and they do just what I need for them to do. They are two different brands. This is Dr. Prepare, and this one is Marbero. Dr. Prepare, I like for several reasons. You've got the flashing light beacon. If you need to use that, um, it will work 7 to 8 hours overnight with life support, specifically with like CPAP machines, CPAP and BiPAP machines. So I really like that and I rely on that. And it wasn't expensive, because not everyone is able to afford the really fancy, super expensive brands. So I like to be prepared, but I do it on the level of what I can afford that will actually meet my needs and cover all my bases. This Marbero portable power supply, they both fit in these little lunch bags, which I think is nice. Because if for some reason the power were to go out, I could use them in different areas in my home. Definitely would use Dr. to prepare in the bedroom for the CPAP machine and the Marbero, probably other areas. It has a single flashlight on there. Dr. Prepare has the two light spots on the side. And they both will do the beacon type flashing if need be. One thing that I like that I call a step up from the Dr. Prepare is that more places to plug. Two prong, three prong, and then of course you got a couple of USB ports so you can charge up your phone, um, DC output, and then you have a small USB-C which would be used like if you had an iPhone or something. So, and you can also plug up your computer really and charge that if you need it to. So, and then there's DC input on the other side. But you also can transfer to the AC power instead of the DC. So I do particularly like that. Dr. Prepare is nice. As I mentioned, it has the lights on the side and it does have a couple of USB and one USB and some 12-volt output, and it also has an input spot, and it has one plug area that can be used as a two prong or possibly work as a three prong. So this is good, but I do like that this gives me that extra option. And both of them were actually around the same price. And the price was really, really decent. And it came pretty quick. But I do know that Dr. Prepare has been running low on their products since the last time that I had mentioned it on the channel. I know that they do have the shower, they have a shower system for van dwellers, and they have a variety of other products, but I do not know how many more of those power chargers that they have. But you can check them out on Amazon, see if they still have those available. And as far as the Marlboro or others, there's lots of other types of power systems out there. I don't do the big gigantic power generator because I am not in a standalone house. I'm not out on a farm. I don't have massive, massive land around me. I am in a condo unit. So I just needed to get what will work for me in my condo unit. So I have those two to cover my bases. So I can have one maybe in the living room, the other one in the bedroom or whatever. And got my solar panels that I use as needed. So I think it's good for people to, look at their own situation and evaluate things and see what do they have, what do they need, um, where do you live? Because where you live is going to make a difference in the types of things that you can use. People that can do the gas generators outdoors, more power to you. I just can't do it because this is the situation that I live in, and this is the situation that a lot of people live in. They're talking on the news right now about the weather and potential for tornadoes heading my way, which is why I want to make sure that second one is fully charged up too. Because if I got 7 hours between the two of those, I'll be I'll be good for tonight. So where you live, there's a lot of people living in multi-site, multi-family housing, or apartments or condos or whatever, or duplexes or whatever. Um, Not everybody has a single family home. And in the area that I live in, it seems to be kind of a push to moving the single family homes out of the particular city that I live in, which that's kind of disappointing because there's a lot of people that need housing. And for families with children, or where there's three or more people that would be in the home setting, they're going to need two bedrooms or more. And the price of housing in the area where I live is just like shooting through the roof, like really crazy. And they're saying it's affordable, but it's not. It's affordable for somebody that maybe makes $60,000 a year, but as for the regular people, regular hardworking people that are going out, doing that job every day, trying to make their ends meet, isn't really affordable. So when people come to me saying, "Hey, I'm running for city council, I'm running for mayor," my first question is, what is your platform? What do you what do you really think about affordable housing and the situation that we're in? There's not only food deserts out there, and by food deserts I mean there are some areas where there's just like nothing. Yes, the government is giving extra food stamps for people that are on food stamps. But there are senior citizens that get $19 a month for food. Seriously, how are they supposed to live off of that? Or is it just that everyone's hoping that they cross their fingers and that they've gotten some subsidized housing and they can spend that extra money on food and the prescriptions and whatnot? Because just because someone becomes older doesn't mean that their medical needs cease. Doesn't mean that their need for prescription medication may cease. What Medicare offers comes in kind of layers, tiers, And there are some things that are offered in the general Medicare sector, and then people would have to add on an additional piece so that hospital visits and things are taken care of. If they're wanting delivered meals, I don't know if you, there's all kinds of celebrities and former celebrities from 20, 30, 40 years ago that are on TV now talking about that kind of stuff. And they're trying to do the push to get more people to add on that extra medical coverage, but it doesn't come free. Hello. It does not come free, not in America. So there's things that need to balance out. And when I'm on here saying that there are some changes to the food situation and the toilet paper and all that kind of stuff, I'm saying it because I'm actually going out to those places, checking out things myself as a consumer, because I am a consumer and I can do my consumer dollars and take them and see what do they have. Do the stores have what I need? When you pull that first roll of toilet paper off the front, or a package of bread or canned goods or whatever, what's behind that? In some stores, when you remove that first thing off the front, it's empty back there. Not true for all stores. As I mentioned in previous video, Target, they've got it stacked. They keep everything stacked and supplied so that people can come in, they can shop, get what they need, and go. People can order online, have it delivered. Um, some stores that do that home delivery option, some of those delivery workers are not quite honest. I've tried to help people get things delivered to their home and sat there by the window like a puppy waiting for its owner to come home. And they said, "Okay, we just dropped it off." And I said, "No, you didn't, because I'm still by the window, and you would have had to pull right up past the window if you were really dropping things off." So there are some integrity issues with people, but I'm not saying that that's necessarily with the stores themselves, because it is a squeaky wheel that gets the oil, and when someone tries to cheat you out of your food or whatever, or they add a $50 charge for something that you did not order, and you have to go back and say, "Well, I didn't order that, and I'd like my money refunded right now," because they can take it pretty quick, but they'll want to say, "Oh, well, we'll get that back to you in 7 to 10 business days." Didn't take 7 to 10 business days for them to take it, so they need to give it back just as quick. But my point anyway, there are things that are coming off the shelves. Things are changing. There are not as many trucks going out delivering food to different places, so there are some Walmarts that are low on food. CVS has had gaps in their stuff, and I know CVS is not like Food Lion or Piggly Wiggly or Kroger or Cub Foods or whatever, but they have a supply, and there is a demand for the food, supply and demand. But they have some gaps. So you can go in there on a hot day, like I went on a hot day, and I thought, wow, I'll just go in and buy a fan. They had two, maybe three fans, and they were small for $20 a piece. I said, okay, well, it's really hot, so I'm going to take one of these anyway. I go on another day for toilet paper. Very slim pickings. That's how I ended up with the bamboo toilet paper that I talked about in the other video. And, what's interesting, I was like, bamboo, never heard of bamboo toilet paper. But it seems like it's a new up and coming thing, this whole bamboo toilet paper thing. And it's a triple ply. I tried to do the math and figure out between the number of squares per roll, and the triple ply and compare that to the single ply, the Scott tissue, and those other more moderate brands that I normally would use because I can know for sure how long those brands would last me. And the 16 rolls that I got for $10 because it was buy one 8-pack and get the second 8-pack for free. So the 16 rolls of the bamboo toilet paper that I got for $8 for $10 uh, per square, it equals out to about the same as the Scott tissue. I still think the Scott tissue has it beat by a little bit, but I'll give that a try and I'll let you know um, how it measures up, if it actually does even out the way I'm thinking that it does. But there was even a limited supply of that. You know, there were 3 packages of the bamboo toilet paper, and it was buy one, get one free. So if they had 4 packages, I probably would have got the 4 packages because then I would have got like 2 packages for free. But it didn't. They didn't have it set up that way. And they didn't have any Scott tissue, and they only had like a couple of rolls of Charmin and some other you know more popular brands, but it was slim pickings. So it's like we have to be prepared for everything. If you get sick, what are you gonna do? Remember, I got sick last year, and it was like, oh man, health department is calling me. Do you have food? Do we need to have food ordered and delivered outside your door? I was like, no, I've got plenty of food. I'm a prepper. That's what I do. I like to be prepared. I dehydrate food. I do my canning. I pickle my eggs, can my collard greens. I've got, frozen food, dehydrated food, freeze dried food. And I organize stuff because situations do happen sometimes where a storm does come and knock the power out. I was in that situation before when I first moved to Minneapolis. Power was knocked out for about a week. All the gas stations in that area were shut down. It was like straight line winds or something, but the winds were so strong and so powerful that a tree fell over, hit the electrical wire, knocked out all the power for many blocks. And of course, I didn't know where I was going because here I was new in Minneapolis, thinking, oh, I'll just drive around till I find a gas station. I'm sure they've got something. Nope. Gas stations were offline. No power. Grocery stores, no power. ATM machines did not work. Not only in that situation, but in another situation back when we had Hurricane Katrina and I was working at a different job and decided I'm just going to go and pull a little money out so that I can go to the grocery store because Hurricane Katrina is way in the south. That's nowhere near where I am here. It's way, way in the south. So everything should be all cool. I get up there, get in the door, put my card in the machine. Nothing was working because those computer systems were connected. Even though that's way in the south and I'm way up here in the Midwest, mm, up in cold country, I like to call it mosquito country, the land of 10,000 lakes, I couldn't get any money out of my account for several days. So it's good to have a little bit on you on hand because we don't always realize that things that are happening far away can still be connected to where you are, not only with the food, with the ATM machines, with the electricity. So taking stock of things is just a good idea to do that. Dr. Prepare is not fully charged up yet, but it will be soon enough. But those are just some things to think about. And then if your power all goes out, do you have some canned goods? Some things that you can access if you're going to need for food? Maybe like canned soup. Do you have a way to cook? Like if you have a gas stove, I have a gas stove with an electric ignition. So when I turn the handle, it goes click, 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 and it lights up. Sure, I can take out my camp stove and cook outside, or I can take out my grill and cook outside. But what are you going to do if you're inside and power goes out and you have no um, way to cook? If you have a microwave or like a air fryer or something, you might be able to work with it if you have some kind of alternative power supply. And I know this is so small, people probably think it's like a toy. It has a little weight to it, but it is small and it does fit in my lunchbox. You just have to watch for how much power that can handle and work within what you have. If you end up eating peanut butter and jelly, then you just end up eating peanut butter and jelly. Or canned fruit, then you end up eating canned fruit. But just make inventory of what you have and try to be prepared for whatever's coming up. Because, like I say about the ant preparing for the winter, we also know that you can see when the storm is coming by what's happening in the sky, by what we feel in the atmosphere. And do you see any birds? If the birds and the squirrels and the outdoor critters have kind of scattered, you can usually tell that something is coming because they get that vibe even before we get that vibe because oftentimes we're so caught up in ourselves and our own stuff that we're not always focused on what's right there in front of us. Well, I'm going to get off here for a minute and I want to make a smoothie or something while the weather is still good. Maybe like a pineapple strawberry smoothie or something. Still got those frozen strawberries and I chopped up a pineapple and I'm going to be uploading to my blog site about various foods and ways to prepare them and why they are good for your body as far as helping to lower cholesterol and to help um, be helpful for people that with diabetes or high blood pressure, other things. So I have some information that I will share on my blog page, and then I'll give you information about that in the upcoming video. I just want to finish getting it typed in. And I also want to link more cooking videos on that site because I know I do a lot of talking here, but I do also like to cook and prepare things. Um, and I enjoy doing the gardening, but this year just wasn't really good for gardening because it was oppressively hot at times. or else it would be raining and storming, and it was just kind of a mess. So the most gardening I did this year was my indoor garden, my hydroponic garden, and I can show more videos on that if people are interested in learning more about that process, because it's an easy way to grow something in your own home that you know is fresh, doesn't have any of the icky stuff that's out there in the ground, and you can cook with it and enjoy it. I hope you take care of yourself and be good to yourself and those that you care about. And I look forward to talking to you again soon.